Today, it's all about hands. Hands being very expressive things, very, very important in cartoon art, depending on how far you want to take it. You can draw them very simply, you can draw them very accurately, you can make them do all kinds of things like, somebody's very thoughtful, somebody's very doubtful, somebody's a folk singer. It's valuable thing to learn how to do, and if you're thinking of anything to do with a career in cartoons, or if you just want to make yourself a lot better, you really should learn how this is done. So we've got about 10-12 minutes on hands. Should be easy enough for you to follow, and so let's go straight to it. Hands. Quite daunting, aren't they? If you're not used to drawing hands, the whole concept of them can be quite a mess in your own mind. And there are thousands of different types of hand, and hands convey so much emotion. But in the world of cartoons, they can be really simple. They can be, if we just do a sleeve, a hand could be as simple as this. And it very often is as simple as that. If you go and look at cartoons that have appeared in the press, on comic strips and that kind of thing, you will find hands that look exactly like that. This is the sort of simple idea of the bog standard cartoon hand all over the world. But what I want to try and deal with is the slightly more advanced one. It doesn't have to be anatomically absolutely perfect, but hands convey so much emotion and so much of our feelings. I mean, body language is huge, but the first thing you ever look at with most people is the face, but then you might see a smiling face and a clenched fist, so that clenched fist tells you something. So what I'm going to do is just give you an idea. If we just put a wrist here like this, and it's just assume it's somebody's arm, and there's the wrist. I want you to kind of think of something like an oven glove, like this. Think of an oven glove, and it'll have a thumb on it like that. Now, inside that oven glove, we all know that there are some fingers, and we kind of know where they would be. If you just draw a line about there, that's where the fingers are going to start. And so taking it down to its sort of simplest form, you know that there have to be, we've got the thumb, which is obvious, and you know that there have to be 4 fingers. So they're going to be like this, aren't they? So, and then with the thumb, what's inside there, you've got the sort of meat of the hand, and you've probably got another crease that runs across like that. And almost miraculously, you find that you've drawn a pretty decent hand once you look at it like this. And if we just try and bypass the oven glove part and imagine we're now going to draw the ink over the top of this, so we'll do the arm like this. We've already got everything in place. This can always be improved upon, but it shows you that something which is fairly daunting need not be, because if you break everything down to its simplest components, as in an oven glove or a mitten or whatever you want to call it, like a child's mitten, then draw the things that must be inside that hold that shape, then suddenly, look, we've got a hand. And we can make that hand a little bit more involved. We can put that nice line across there that there often is. There are lines at the foot of the fingers. Then you've got the creases of the fingers. And you've got it like this. So now that, hopefully, that I've shown you that sort of more simplified way of drawing a complicated thing, you start to see how to make it work. But now I'm going to show you the hands when they're attached to a figure. Now, I've developed a particular technique of drawing cartoon figures in which we get the figure in place. I mean, we're not worried too much about how the figure works, but we'll just make sure it is a figure, and we'll give him the famous nose and a little bit of a smile, but maybe not. Now, I've developed this particular technique myself, in which I draw the hands and then draw the arms, rather than trying to work it the other way around. And so I'm going to have this chap protesting his innocence. Thumbs up, and then this is the middle of the meat of the hand before we get to any fingers. Now, do this pose yourself. Put yourself in front of a mirror and go, who, me? Who, me, Gov? It's not me. So go like this, and you'll find that the little finger, show all the elements of it. The other fingers tend to kind of crunch in behind, like this. And let's do it on the other side, a similar thing. You do need to practice this. It won't be just something that suddenly you can do perfectly. It took me quite a long time to get to this, but I was very pleased with the outcome. As you can see, we've got something quite expressive here, and now all we have to do is decide where his arms are going to be. Well, let's do it with some stick lines. This is my normal technique. There's an elbow, stick line. Yeah, there's an elbow coming through. We can now put some flesh on that. And we have an expressive pair of hands. Very, very important that they work like that. You can see, hey, who, me, Gov? It can't be me, surely. We also need to think about people pointing. Again, we'll have somebody, just a person looking like this. And we want them to be pointing at us. Now, I start with the index finger and just suggest, because it's foreshortened. If you look at somebody's index finger, it's foreshortened when it's pointing towards you. And then you've got the other fingers which are folded under. Now, they're always at this kind of angle. They're not like that. You think, it's going to be kind of horizontal when someone's pointing at you, but you try it. It's actually quite unnatural. So you've got a bunch of fingers, therefore. You've got one pointing at you, and you've got three that aren't, and you have a thumb that kind of goes across. And now you can see that our character is definitely pointing right in our direction. No two ways about it. The arm could be anywhere behind there, but you don't have to draw the arm. This is one of the wonders of art itself. The mind fills in the gaps. Now you can see that there's a hand there. You can see that there's an arm going in behind, and your mind fills in the gap behind that to make a whole arm, because he's got an arm like that, like everybody else. And just for good measure, we'll stick his other hand on here. This is another sort of visual shorthand trick where you only really draw a thumb and a finger like this, and then you just put a couple of little marks there, and you've got a fairly expressive hand. We'll make him fairly angry and accusative. You get the idea. Hands can be very, very expressive, but you can get at them in a very shorthand kind of a way. You can produce a decent hand using visual shorthand. Let's try something just a little bit more complex, and it's we'll do it from the side on. I'm doing this on the fly as it happens. I haven't kind of planned this one out, but I do know how to draw a hand reasonably well. We'll draw the pointing hand from the side, and I like to build it up with the actual joints as I think they might be. If in my mind's eye I can see, or even if I put my own hand out and look at it, I can see that this is how hands work. There you are. I'm looking at it now. You've got this here, and then you've got a kind of a mix up in the middle there, and there you are. really, you know, you've got the bones of the hand, which are probably something like a tarsal, getting technical, and then you just put the joints of the hand, the joints of the finger, sorry, together. They get progressively shorter towards the end, and you've suddenly got a pointing hand. There you are. It's rather nice, isn't it? And when you look at it that way, it's not particularly complex to do. So that's, I would say, for the moment, if you just take a look at those simple things, the really simple cartoon hands at the top, which will still work in many cartoon formats, and then you can see how you can use an oven mitt, oven glove style to create a hand in almost any position if that's what you want. But that's really just to help you think about it, and then consider that when you're doing the actual whole character, do the hands first. Hands first, if it suits. There will be situations where it doesn't, but do the hands first to get your pose right. And if you're using digital stuff like I am, well, I mean, you've got this wonderful thing where you can just take a hand like that, grab it, and move it and turn it round. If you want it to do something different, you can make it do something different, and then you just attach it once again to the elbow. I mean, that's visually rubbish, but you see what I mean. I'm just giving you an example of how you can do it using the digital side. With pencil and paper, you can do the same things, it just might take a little bit longer. So, recap: simple hands at the top for funny little cartoon strips or panel gags. Some of the panel gags you see, the drawing's dreadful, but the joke is brilliant. So you don't have to, if you're good at gags, you don't have to be a genius at drawing anything at all, just as long as it's reasonably representational. Oven glove, it's all hidden inside. You draw the outline of what you want and then you fit the fingers inside it. The pose, put the hands first so that you can make the pose work. The pointing finger, where the finger is foreshortened, pointing towards you. And the thumb here is quite key, because you don't see all the thumb, you just see the last joint of it really as it comes across the fingers underneath. And then last of all, the pointing finger from the side, which is made up of, well, if you put your own, that's me, I'm right-handed, so I've put my own hand up next to my face so I can look at it, and that's what my hand looks like when we're pointing. But I don't have to hold my hand up because I've done it enough times now, but it's basically made up of the visual joints that you can see in any drawn hand. So there you are for the moment. That is the cartoon hand. We'll probably do some more on this on another day, but I think this is enough for most people's concentration span. Have a go at it yourself. Let me know what you think. And of course, while I'm talking to you, I will suggest that you subscribe to the channel so that you can pick up every film that comes out on this. Hit the little bell and you'll get notifications every time as well. And do share this to your friends, family, associates, so that I can gain more subscriptions, grow this community so that we're all talking to each other and there are plenty of us and we can all share our experiences. So thanks again for watching and see you next time.